Hey everyone. In this video, I want to share a tip with you that may help you make more friends as an adult. And this tip is to be more spontaneous. We all know that it can be rather difficult to make new friends once you reach adulthood because now you're kind of in places and you're in certain situations in life where it's a bit more difficult to meet people because usually you end up having to work a job, and then that job, unless it's like an amazing job, is usually pretty draining. So when you get home, you don't really want to go out and do things. You want to more de-stress from the day. So we tend to stay inside, not go out and do certain activities that tend to put us around other people, and so on and so forth. So many people end up not really making a whole lot of friends in adulthood. But the more spontaneous you are, it opens the door to you making new friends. I mean, this week was an interesting one for me. I actually ended up making pretty much 3 new friends this week, and it was just completely random, wasn't planned at all. It was one of those things where it just kind of worked out. Like on Friday of this week, I was hanging out with one of my friends, and we didn't really plan this, but she was inviting another friend of hers over later that night, and I was planning on disappearing, on dipping out before her friend arrived, but just the way things worked out, just being spontaneous, I ended up staying. And then when her new friend came over, he was a really cool guy, and he and I basically realized we're on the same wavelength for a lot of things. We actually went to the same university and literally had the same major, and we graduated a year apart from each other and we somehow never met. But he's a really cool dude. So basically, I made a new friend because of my other friend and just being spontaneous and choosing to stay when I otherwise would have left. So that's how I made one friend this week. Another one was actually somebody reached out to me via message, someone who's watched a few of my videos, and she and I ended up realizing that we have a few things in common as well, and I'll actually be talking to her on the phone later today. And now she's probably going to be another friend of mine, and I haven't even met her in person, but hey, I've already made quite a few online internet friends while on this journey, and some of you have been like really close to me ever since. Some of you have helped me get through difficult periods and whatnot. That's actually why she reached out to me, to offer her support, and it's cool. Like, it's really awesome to meet new people by being spontaneous online. And she even told me she often doesn't reach out to other people in the way that she reached out to me because, it can be kind of, maybe weird isn't the right word, but it's just, there's a lot of like certain connotations around reaching out to people online. And we think about that, right? Like, many of us probably think about those things before you just shoot someone a message online saying, hey, you want to be friends? Like, right? So that was a very spontaneous thing she did. And with it, now she's pretty much going to have a new friend in me. And then today I was hanging out with one of my friends, and we were going for pseudo hike walk type thing. We do this rather often where we kind of just walk beautiful neighborhoods in our area because, I mean, if you look behind me, like this ocean here, there's a ton of neighborhoods in front of me here that you guys can't see, and they're just gorgeous, and they're literally right next to the ocean. So we'll just walk along and talk to each other, catch up, and that sort of thing, and just be out in nature. And while we were walking, this woman in her car basically stopped and asked us for directions to a nice place to have a picnic with her toddler. And we ended up having a conversation with her for like probably around 10 minutes or so, and we realized she just moved here, she's really cool, she has no friends, and we were like, hey, like, you want to be friends with us? We basically got her contact information. We're already going to plan to invite her on some of our hikes and whatnot. We even have another group of friends that we often join up with to go do outdoors activities. So once we found out that she's also into outdoors activities, I invited her to join us in the future. And now we have a new friend in her, and it's really cool because she just moved here and has no other friends otherwise. So it's a neat way to just help her ease into this new place that she's unfamiliar with, and we'll be able to show her a lot of cool spots. So all these instances were completely spontaneous, right? Like, all born of spontaneity. So the more spontaneous you are, the more you just reach out to people that you can tell you'll connect with, or if it's not online, the more you just put yourself out there in person. Like, even a few weeks ago, I was approached by this woman while I was reading a book in a public place. She literally just walked up to me and started asking me questions about what I was reading. We had a great conversation for like half an hour or so, even got her contact information. Like, you never know who you'll run into if you just put yourself out there. And that doesn't even mean going out with the intention of meeting other people. It just means go outside. Like, you can't meet other people if you're in your room indoors doing nothing, right? Like, you have to put yourself in outdoor spaces to have any possibility of meeting new people. So do that. Like, you can go do things by yourself with no intention of meeting others, but if you're outside, now there's a possibility that people can talk to you. You can strike up conversations over really random things and be completely spontaneous, and you could make a new friend out of it. You never know. So I would say spontaneity is the key to making friends as an adult. You just have to basically be open-minded, put yourself out there, and if you see someone who looks a bit interesting, go strike up a conversation with them. Tell them what you found interesting about them, and if they're cool, get their contact info, and now you have a new friend. And heck, this is also a great way to meet people for dating as well. Of course, that's a bit trickier because you're not going to know immediately whether or not they strike off all your boxes and that sort of thing, but hey, you never know. You could have a great connection with someone just by going up to them, starting conversations. So that's my piece of advice for today. Just be spontaneous if you want to make more friends as an adult. Doesn't matter if it's online or in person, spontaneity is basically all you need to do this. You don't even need to be confident. I mean, that can help, of course, but just have the courage to go talk to people, to bring up things. Like, you can meet a lot of people just by asking them about random stuff. If you see someone who's got an adorable dog, like, you can start a conversation using their dog as a way to connect with them. Just say, hey, you've got a cute dog. How long have you owned it, or whatever? What's its name? And that can lead to cool conversation. So put yourself out there, be spontaneous, and it'll hopefully help you make more friends as an adult. But that's all I have for you guys. Truly hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci.